Good morning and good evening, everyone, depending on where you are joining from. Uh, my name is Sampath Sitnamalu, and I'm replacing Tarindu and taking over from Tiny for this Orina training. And so, welcome to the fourth day of this Orina development classroom for IFS Cloud. And during the last week, or maybe last 3 days, you might have discussed a lot of things. So among those things, maybe you might have discussed about how HTTP protocol works and how OData works, and what's our new architecture for IFS Cloud, and how Orina fits in. So Orina was introduced in App 10, which is a new architecture, and this fits in well with the new emerging way of using applications over the internet. And you might have talked how OData works and how OData is used in Orina. And you might have learned about these new things called projections and how they are kind of web services, right? So, and you have done a couple of exercises as well. So let me kind of do a recap of all those things we did. So we know that our Orina is a client, kind of a single page client that runs on the browser. So this is our Orina client. So whenever it wants to contact the database to get some data or get done, get anything done from the database, what it will do is it will actually contact a certain web service, an OData web service that is in the middle tier. And this OData web service is actually a RESTful web service. And how do you create such services? So whenever you create a projection, for example, you created this enterprise handling projection. So whenever you create a projection, this projection gets turned into a single single contained web service, and you can actually see what that web service is by going to this particular URL. Maybe main IFS applications projection v1 enterprise handling SVC, and from this URL you can see all the endpoints that is available in this web service that you have created from a projection. So creating a web service doesn't mean that you can get things done from the database. You have to specify entry points. For example, let's say you need to populate the data from a certain logical unit. So what you would do is you would create an entry point, which we say an entity set. So this is an entry point, and let's say you created an entity set called TRN countries. So this TRN countries entity set gets turned into a entry point in the this web service, this enterprise handling SVC, and you can see that entry point here. So if you actually go to that entry point and issue a GET request to that entry point, you can get all the data in that logical unit. So a GET request to that entry point will actually give you the data, and you can do more things by sending post request or maybe put request into this entry point. However, you can't do that in the browser. If you want, you can do it in a program like Postman or something. However, that is exactly what our Orina client does. So it uses this entry point, and for different actions like creating, deleting, and getting data, it uses different HTTP verbs to get it done. So if the Orina client uses HTTP GET to this endpoint, the endpoint will send you all the a list of instances, or maybe a list of rows, let's say, of that entity. If the Orina endpoint sends a delete HTTP verb to this endpoint, what it will do is it will actually delete a certain entry. So on and so forth, right? And you have another thing that describes this web service, that is the metadata document, and you can access it from here, and I've got it opened already. And from that metadata document, you can see all the types of entities or entity sets, and their types and their properties and so on and so forth. Everything can be figured out from this metadata document about the types, right? And using this, what you did was you created an entity set for TRN country. You called it TRN countries, and you use this entity set from a client. So you create a projection to create a web service, and then you create a client file to create clients that use the web service. Because the clients use the web service or the projection, in other words, you have to, of course, specify that this client uses the projection. And then what you can do is you can create different visual elements. So the biggest, or maybe the most the main element you can create is a page, right? So you can create a certain page, and in that page you can add certain UI elements like lists or groups or selectors and so on and so forth, right? So what you have done here is you have created a projection and you have created an entry for different countries, and then you have created a page that can list all the countries. So you did that by creating the country overview page, and then you created this list, tier and country list, which has two fields, the country ID and country fields. And then you added that list to the page. And the result is that, and also you added this to the navigator, right? And the result is that you get something like this. And then as a second exercise, you did something similar. So let me get that exercise for you as well. Yeah, so for the second exercise, we created a country, we created a page with multiple elements, and we called it TR and country details. So this page has a group, and then a group that will show a certain country ID, and then under that group you have a list which has certain areas, right? And we did it by, of course, creating a page and then adding a group and a list to that, right? And this group contained elements from, or maybe fields from, tier and country, whereas the list, the tier and area list contained fields from tier and area. And we added these two things into the page. And we also needed a selector. Why? Because we needed a way to select details from this page. So I can show you this page. It's not yet in the navigator, so I can manually type in the URL. So this is the result that we get. And you have a country ID, a certain country record, and then a list of areas belonging to that country. And you navigate between the countries by using the select, and you achieve this result by using this bit of code, just 4 lines. You declare a selector and you declare the group, you bind the selector to the group, and then also you create a list. And we had a problem when we were creating the list. The problem was that we needed a way to filter the list by the selected country ID. The way we did it was we actually went to the projection, and then we overrode this TRN country entity, and then we added this array, the TRN areas array, to the country entity. So what this resulted in was, if you go to the metadata document, you will see that in the TRN country entity, now you have a navigation property called TRN areas array. And using this navigation property, you can actually query kind of a list of child records, right? And that's exactly what we are doing. So we are using this array in the client, and we are populating the TRN area list using that array instead of TRN area entity. And that way, what we can do is we can actually filter out the list of areas like this, right? So these are the things we did these past 3 days, or maybe the last day, on the Friday. Do you have any questions about these things that we discussed? Any questions? Right. So if you don't have any questions, there's one final thing I can do about this page, that is adding it to the navigator. I believe this was given to you as a homework. And what I can do is I can just go in there, and I'll just copy this navigate entry and then edit it to suit my need. And I'll call it the TRN. It's not the country overview, country details page, nav entry, and the parent is the same, and I'll change the index to 200, and the label should be country details. Let me copy that, or maybe just this part. Of course, the page should be the country details page. Right? So I can copy this part and send it in the chat, as well as I think I need to find the place where your the public share is. Tiny, if you're there, please help me. I don't remember the public shares location.
Yes, but I will send you that.
Is it 106 or it should be 107?
It's in
Isn't it?
106 actually.
Six.
It
Okay.
is in 106.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got it. I've got it. Right. Then I'll create a new directory for day 4. And then I'll create this new text document called ex2 for exercise 2. And yes. So that's the navigator entry, and I can deploy that. Hopefully it's correct.
I have a question.
Yes.
So basically, whenever I try to generate and deploy, it says I cannot connect to the database. And I went inside and checked the connection. I tested the connection with the password, ifsap username and password, and it tested okay, but still not able to connect.
Right. So something you can try is go to the, let me
it worked.
show that again.
It worked now. I just had to destroyed the process and then returned, and it started working.
Okay. Something else you can test is, go to the database and then select this database and set it as the main database.
Okay.
Check if that's working for you. That might be the reason, but I'm not exactly sure. Yeah. And let me send you the location in the chat as well. So we'll be using this place to share the code, because some of you can't really copy from your desktops to the VMs, right? And I trust all of you have connected to your VMs. If not, please do. And what we'll do today is we'll continue this set of exercises, and those exercises will actually let us learn a bit more about Arena and how certain things are done in Arena, right? So let's, I hope you can see this, and I haven't tested it either. So let me test that. So let me go to the home and refresh this. And see if my manage geographies has a country details page. Yes, I do, and it works. Right. So I hope, did I save this? Yes. So I hope you are okay with this. Just adding to the navigator is not a big deal. You have already done that. And we can go forward in the exercises, right? So that's exercise 2.
Sampath, I seem to be getting an error after compiling.
Okay. What's the error, Roy?
It's just saying invalid objects before deployment. So I don't know whether.
Yeah. So you should get something like that. So let me. Where's my output? Yes, there. So what does it say? Does it change the number of invalid objects?
I get one in before deployment and after deployment. So
then which is your DB actually?
109.
109. Yeah. So if you are not changing the number of invalid objects before and after the deployment, you don't really need to worry. Does it work, Roy? So does your client work and everything?
Yeah, it was. Let me try.
Okay. Tiny, would you check what the invalid object is for 109, was it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll check on it.
Thanks, Tiny. Okay. So if you don't see a change of, you should always check whether, the number of invalid objects increase. So if it increase, that's a problem, but it doesn't increase, it's quite okay. And in fact, let me do something about the font size. I don't think
Yeah, I
you
think what
can
happened
clear.
is it says invalid objects before deployment 1, after deployment 1, and caused by deployment 0. So must have hit
Yeah,
some.
let me do something like this. Hopefully it'll make it a bit better. No. Yeah, let me just try to see if I can. So no, I don't think I can do that. Yeah, no use then. Right. Anyway. Uh, right. So what we can do is while Tiny is checking that VM, so we can see that we did the exercise number 2. Everything is done. We overwrote the projection. No, it's not. Yes. Yeah, we overwrote the entity and created this entity set and created a list and used that array, this trn area list in for the trn area list, and then we added the page too, right? So then we have exercise number 3, using a customized selector. So this is quite easy. So selector used in TRN country details page needs to display the country ID and country. So so what does this mean? So if I go to the client, so let me get this here. Yeah, that's better. So if you go to the client, this selector, this TRN country selector, where is it defined? So it is actually defined in this base file. So if you go to manage geographies and generated files and manage geographies dash base client, you'll find that this TRN country selector is there. So what happens is uh, whenever you do something with a client file, for example, in here, in this client file, we have created a page with TRN countries as well as maybe a list with, or maybe, yeah, or a group with TRN country. So when you use an entity in a client file, what the code generator automatically does for you is it creates some useful things in the base client file. So for example, since you are using the TRN country uh, entity as a part of a client, it figures that, okay, you might need a selector and you might need some other things. So there are a lot of other things. So there are certain types of commands, maybe buttons, right? So things like that are there, right? And so these things are automatically generated for you, and you can actually use that in the client file. And that's what you have done. You have actually used the selector, TRN country selector, that is defined in the base client file. However, what you can do is you can actually, you know, do certain changes. So this is just like in the base server. So whenever you have something in the base layer, for example, a PLSQL method, what you can do is you can override that base layer method, and then you can do changes, isn't it? So the same concept is valid here. So what you can do is you can reuse the code that is automatically created for you in the base layer, and then you can actually change it a bit. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to just copy the selector code from the base client file. Right. I'll copy it. And then I'll come back to my client file, which is the core file, and you will find a selectors section in the client file. And within that selectors section, I will paste that bit of code. And my mouse isn't working for some reason. Yeah. So so then what you'll see is that you will see this yellow line, and it says you something. It tells you something actually. I think there's a problem with my rendering. Therefore, the numbers, the line numbers, and there's a certain hint you guys might see it's not visible. So if you see sort of a hint here, just to the left of the selector keyword, you can click it and it'll ask you to do an override. So I can't actually show that to you because my rendering doesn't work for some reason. And uh, what this tells you is that this selector, there's a selector by the same name in the base client file. Therefore, you need to do an override. So you need to add the override keyword. So that's what I'll do. Uh, those who see the the hint, you can actually click that, and there's a certain menu that pops up. You can click that and it'll automatically add the override keyword. You can do that as well. Right? So I have to add the override keyword, and then we can do changes to this. Maybe let's add some characters, and I can deploy it, and this will change. This selector will actually change which we are using. Right? So I can refresh this. This isn't. Yeah, I'm not sure what happened. Maybe I should, return to the original Zoom level. Give me a moment. That's much better, right? Yeah. So you can see the change we did. I just added a couple of random characters, and you can see that that set of characters are there in the you know the selector, right? The selector label, right? So what we need to do, however, is not add random characters. We need something like a country ID dash LK and then country Sri Lanka, something like this. So what you can do is also you need to add the country column too, right? So how can we do that? We can just go to the selector and yeah, here's my selector. And apart from the country ID, I can also add the country. And of course, I can do something like this. Country ID, that's the country ID, and then comma, maybe country, and then dash. And within dollar signs, just like we have this country ID here, I can have the country field here. So I can deploy this and it'll work. So I'll send the code in a second to you. And let me show this first. Yeah, so it works. So not it's not really hard. So you can just copy the selector and then start editing. And then I'll put this in the ex03 txt. And I'll also add it to the chat as well. just in case you want to copy it from the chat. Hopefully I've saved it. Yes.
Question.
Yes.
We did some override, but you started it with copying the all of the code from the base. And
Correct.
this is kind of not really what override is about. I mean, we usually
Yeah.
just refer to the original object and add some stuff or change some stuff, but we kind of copied everything. So is this the usual way of doing it?
It's excellent question, Janos. Thank you for that. And yeah, so in the client, the overriding is bit different. So in the base server, you might you override and then you just add the things you really need, on the things you only need, right? So in the client, it doesn't work exactly that way sometimes. So therefore, what you would try to do is you would just add everything you need, and then typically this isn't a really a common use case where you just copy everything, and this is kind of like an overtake, isn't it? So that's what your point is, isn't it? But in client, what you do is you would if for a simple thing like that, you would typically add everything you need. But you're right, it's not the default way of doing things, and we will do uh, overriding of an entity later today, possibly, and then you'll see that that is not the practice. You just add only the things you need.
Okay, so even in this case, we could just have added the second country field and without specifying the previous ones, like a label or country ID, and it would work.
Maybe we
as
can,
well.
yeah, maybe we can test that. So now that you said that, I've actually not done that with a selector. So let me test that for you. Yeah, it works because, like you said, the country ID is actually already defined in the selector, the base layer selector. Therefore, the country ID is still there and you can see it. Yeah.
Okay, so can we say that it works quite a bit like a traditional override, that you just
yes
add the new things and it's supposed to work?
Yeah, but what I did here is maybe I wasn't clear on what I was saying. Since this is very small, I just copied all the code and just edited it. You don't really need to do that. That's why.
Okay, yeah. I see. Okay, thanks.
Yeah. Right. So hope you all are you all can do it, hopefully, and then we can move on to the next exercise number 4. Using a list of values. So let me get that exercise into the view. So to do this, you kind of need some extra things as well. So first, you need to add a page for company. So create this TRN company overview page to display TRN company. That's a typo. Company instance in the database. Right? And to do that, we need to actually create a new client file, and then you have to create this page, and then you have to add this page to the navigator, right? So since you know how to create a page, with a simple list, so you did that already with the country, isn't it? So it's the same thing as what you did with the country. You just create a page, add it to the navigator, and then have a list in it. So it's pretty simple. And so therefore, I'll quickly go through this, and I'll create this TRN company overview page. However, we need to create a new client file. So the idea is that we are not going to use the same manage geographies client for the company information. The company and branches should be in a different client file. Right? However, we will use the same enterprise handling projection. so it should the entry points would be in the same enterprise handling projection. However, we will use a separate client file, right? So you can follow me here, and I'll go through it, and then I'll give you some reasonable time. And if you are falling behind, let me know. We can wait a bit and let you catch up. Okay. So I won't ask for your raise hand option every time, because that takes time. We can do better, isn't it? So what I can do is I can just right click this client uh, folder in the navigator, and then choose new client model. And the client file the exercise is asking for us to create is called manage company. So let me copy that bit and then use it as a as the name for the model name. So we are creating a new client file called manage companies, right? And then I'll just finish it. Of course, all the clients need to use a certain projection. Therefore, well, actually, I can just try to deploy it, and it'll tell you that cannot find required model match companies dot projection. That is because, as you might know, if you don't specify a projection, it looks for a projection by the same name as the client file. So to rectify that, what I can do is I can actually specify the projection enterprise handling. And then if I do a control space, it will show me the enterprise handling projection. I can choose that. And then I should be able to deploy it. No problems. So what are we going to do here? We are going to actually show all the companies, isn't it? But to show the companies, we really need we need an entry point in our projection or the OData web service. So what do we do then? We have to create an entity set for the TRN company. So I'll do entity set TRN companies for TRN company. And this is exercise number 4. And this is in enterprise handling projection. And let me put that in the chat as well. And then I can deploy it. And if I really want, I can go to the enterprise handling SVC, the service document, and then I can see that that's TRN companies. I can even copy this and then see if I can populate the TRN companies, and I can. So yeah, so that is something you might want to do every time you do a change to the projection. So when you do a change to the projection, that means a web service needs to change, right? And you can check that web service, check the service document at the least, and then of course you can also go to the metadata document and then check that too, right? So I can see that there's a TRN company entity and entity set called TRN companies, right? Yeah. And then you can start to create the clients, right? So I'll just Okay, there's another thing I think we need to do. Yeah, so this actually this TRN company overview page needs to be added to a new node called manage companies, right? So here what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a different approach than what you've been doing, right? So you were actually creating basic UI elements like list and groups, and then you created a page, you added the list, and then you created the navigate entry, and then you added the page, isn't it? So that's how you worked. You worked bottom up, creating the smallest entry and then building up from there. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to start from the navigator and then the page and then the UI elements. So this way, what I can do is I can visually see what I'm doing. So that's another way of doing. So this is not the recommended way or anything. It's a different way of working in Orina. Just wanted to show you. So what I can do is I can start with an entry. So I have to add an entry in the root, isn't it, first? So I'll first start with an entry in the root navigator file, right? Entry. This is manage companies nav entry, and this is a top level nav entry at index maybe 2300. Looks fine, and its label should be manage companies. And I'll give this to you in the file as well. And you can have this inside the navigator, right? And I'll give that piece of code in the chat as well. And I can deploy this root client. Should not do any changes, but it enabled us to have a top level navigate entry, right? And then I can declare a navigator in my new manage companies client as well. So in the navigate entries, so this is again manage companies. In the manage companies, I will create a navigate entry and then a navigator and then an entry. I'll just copy something from here and then edit stuff, right? That's easier. This page is called TRN company overview. TRN company overview page nav entry, and parent is TRN ENT navigator route, not manage geographies, rather manage companies. And at index 100 maybe. And then the label should be companies. And it should this navigate entry should show a page that we haven't yet created, and I'll call that page TRN company overview page. We haven't created it just yet, right? So so this part will go in the manage companies client. Right. So let me copy that here as well. And then I'll quickly create the page as well. So let me copy this page name. Page using TRN companies, isn't it? And then I'll have the same label like here. Right. So this bit of code should be deployable. So let me try that. And I'll give this part to you as well. So this is deployable, and I'll give you a second to try that. So if I go to the client and go to the home and do a hard refresh, in the navigator, I should see a manage companies top level navigate entry. Why? Because we created that in our TRN navigator road. And then I should also see within that a company's navigate entry. Why? Because we created that one in our newly created manage companies.client, right? And when I click that, I get a blank page and it shows this loading animation. You might think it's an error. It's not. That is because we have a page, but there's nothing there, right? So that is something you can do. And from here onwards, the good thing is that whatever you add here, so you can add things to this page, and then they will get rendered here after you do a hard refresh. So that is another way of developing things in Arena, where you have a kind of a top-down approach. You start from the navigate entries, and you just create a bare minimum page which doesn't have anything, and then from there you can start creating stuff, right? So of course, what do we need? We need to create a list that has company ID, name, creation date, and comments, right? So let me create. Let me do that quickly. I think I have the list somewhere. Since you have already done that, I will just copy this code. So I won't bother typing it again, right? So it's a list we have created, list TRN company list for TRN company, and I have the 4 fields, and I will also add this list to the page. Right? So let me put that piece of code in the chat as well. This part. Yeah, so the page changes because we have added the list. Since you have already done this, with the country, I won't take time to, do it again. Okay. Hopefully that's okay. But if you do have questions, let me know. And I can deploy it. And when you do that, I can refresh this page, not from here. That's just a data refresh. We want a hard refresh of the page, and it should show us all the companies. And I'll give you a second to do that, or a minute, maybe. Yeah.
Hi, Sampath. Gregory here. Am I
Yes,
audible for
Gregory.
you? Yeah.
Yes, you are.
Sorry to stop you. Actually, I have a question regarding the selector part. Something as a continuation to what I think it was Janos who actually asked.
Right.
The selector. We are in this example. You are actually reusing an existing selector from the the base client, right? Base.client file.
Correct.
But what if we actually creating a new selector of our own. So is it still required to have that override syntax?
Yes. No, you don't need to do that. And actually, we'll be possibly doing it today. And I think,
Okay. So we are coming to that actually
yeah,
then.
yeah,
Okay.
we are coming to that, and I'm not exactly sure where that is, but somewhere down the line, we are going to do that. We are going to create a
Okay.
new selector.
Okay. So the override is basically used in case when we are actually reusing an existing selector from one of the files.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah.
And you will touch upon the importance of static keywords as well later on.
Sure. I
Yeah.
will talk about that.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so right. So that's our companies. And then hopefully you have done that. Let me know if you need some more time. And you can do the same for tier and branch details. And there, what you need to do is something similar to what you did with uh, the areas. So in country details, what you did was you uh, you listed uh, the uh, the area that belongs to a single country, and you had a kind of a group and a selector. The same thing applies here, and the difference here is if you go to the entities, so you have a similar, you have a similar relationship between tier and country, tier and area, and tier and company, tier and branch. So these are aggregate relationships. Hopefully, I can zoom it in. Right, that's better. Right. So these are aggregate relationships that you have between company and the branch, and you can actually do a similar thing that you did with country and area. Right. Uh, so I don't know. My apologies. So actually, this is a bit of a different thing that you are doing. Yeah, let's see. Right. Let's create a new page called TRN branch details. Right. So let's have the same top-down approach. Right. So I'll close the other client file and the root. We don't need them now. So we'll start with the navigator entry. So I'll copy this bit. Or maybe I can. Yeah. Right. So okay. So branches. Right. So before maybe the client files, we need to actually create a new entity set for branches. So that's what we are going to do first. Right. TRN branches maybe for TRN branch. So this is what you do. So this is the exercise for part 2. So this is what you do in the projection. Save it. And then what I can do for you is I can create a new navigate entry. And I think I have a bit of code that is already written. Since you have already done this, I'll just reuse old code, and you know what this is, right? So we are creating a navigate entry called TRN branch details page nav entry. And its parent is manage companies nav entry, and it is at index 200, just below the companies, right? So its label is branch details, and it has a page, TRN branch details page. You haven't created that just yet, right? So let me put that piece of code in there. So that is in the manage companies dot client. So I'll give you some time if you want to copy your own code. And of course, we haven't declared this page, so therefore I can have this page 2, right? Right, this part. And I can quickly deploy it, and I should see a blank branch details page, right? So if I go to the home, refresh this, do a hard refresh, and within the navigator, I should, in manage companies, I should see branch details, which of course is a blank page right now. And I can add stuff to this. I know that if you go to the manage companies based client, since we are going to populate the branches, we should find a branch selector. There you go. So there's a TR branch selector, and we can add this selector to the page. And I can deploy it. Put that bit in the page too. So if you now refresh it, you should see something, or maybe it might give you some errors. Yeah, it does give you an error because, you know, and what we also need is a group, right? So I've also got the list of things of the group. So if I go to the exercise, it tells us to create a group by including company ID, branch ID, name, time of set, country ID, country, area ID, and area. So yeah, so that's a mouthful of, or maybe a big list of things. And if I go to the TRN branch entity in the entities and compare this list with it, you can see that company ID, branch ID, name, time of set, country ID, and area ID. So these are okay. However, apart from those, we need a country and also an area fields. But these are not available in the attributes of TRN branch, and we need a separate way of getting those attributes. So we don't know how to do that yet. So what I'll do is I'll just create a group like this. So let me get that piece of code. And I'll have the company ID, branch ID, name, time of set, country ID, and the area ID. But I'll have this commented out country and the commented out area, right? So I'll have that. And I'll put that in the document as well and in the chat. Did I save it? Yes, I did. And I can also add the group to the page and then bind the selector. So the final code for the TRN branch detail page looks like this. And I'll update that here and put that in the chat as well, right? And let me know if I'm going too fast. I'm trying to save some time because these things are, you did this already. You don't really need to, there's nothing to learn, nothing extra to learn. It's just repeating what we learned, right?
Can you please copy the code for the selector to the chat or the file as well? The latest selector for branch details. I cannot find it.
Yeah, it is defined in the base client file. Therefore, you don't need to declare that anywhere. So it's already declared in the base. So you can just use it in the page.
Okay.
Right?
Okay. Thanks.
So when I'm going forward with the exercise, let me know if you're falling behind. We can wait for you. It's not a problem. I'm just right. So I can deploy this bit of code. So you can do. It's successful. Okay. And I can go to the branch details and do a hard refresh. Okay. Let's try that again. Still a problem. Okay, let's see what has occurred. This might be a good thing. So yeah, so I'm getting a survey error. So let me see. Let me show you what I did again. Right. So when I did a hard refresh, I'm getting a survey error, and what I can do is I can click this report button. In there, typically you will see this URL. What you can do is you can copy this URL bit, this one, and then try to open it. So you can right click and go to this URL, and it says OData provider error, and the problem is that cannot find entity set singleton and some other things with the name TRN branches. It can't find TRN branches. And why is that? Did I where did I declare TRN branches? That would be the projection. Did I
Perhaps you
deploy the
didn't.
projection?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I did not deploy the projection, isn't it? So that's my mistake. Probably I didn't deploy the projection, so I can try to deploy the projection, and then the client for good measure, and then let's see if I can. Let's refresh this TRN branches enterprise handling SVC first, right? I'm still getting that problem, right? So if I go to the enterprise handling SVC and refresh it, I do see the TRN branches, and now it works. Okay, so maybe it took a second to refresh this cache in the middle tier, but now I can see all the branches. So now it should work. So I can press OK and do another refresh. And now I see it. I can change and see the details as well. And I'll give you a minute to do that. And let me know if you are getting any trouble, problems, errors, anything.
Yes, this is Roy calling you. I'm not
Yes,
getting
Roy.
my navigator entry over here, so I don't know what I did wrong.
Okay. Right. So you can check from the top. So just first go to TRN Navigator root and see if there's a manage companies nav entry. It should be manage companies, and maybe you copied it. You have the same name, and then you have to have a different index, and it should be top level.
Yep, that's what I have.
Yeah, and then what you can do is you can go to the manage companies client, and then see its navigate entry. It should be distinct from this one, and also its parent should be manage companies, and then it should have a distinct index too. Is it there?
Just give me a moment. Your index is 200, right?
Right. Yeah, it can be different. It could be 400 or anything. Just that it's distinct in this file. And then check whether page is correct.
Yeah, it is.
You have a page by the same name, and it highlights when you select here. Is it?
Yep.
Okay. So then, right. So you have done a refresh as well. You have gone to home and do a refresh.
Yep, I did that. I even
You're
combined directions.
Okay. Roy, would you let me know your VM number, please?
109.
109. Would you mind if I take over for a second?
Sure, sure. Let me refresh first.
I just you might get kicked out. Sorry about that.
Yeah, not a problem.
Yes, that's correct. And are these deployed? Maybe we can check that, and then now it's maybe one of them wasn't deployed, so it's working fine. Maybe one of them wasn't deployed, and yeah, everything is working fine.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Thank you.
Let me disconnect. Right. So I hope everyone is okay. Let me know if you need extra time. All right. Right. So what's left? So create a group by including these things. And we had a problem with country and area. We exactly don't know how to do that. And we have added the page to the navigate and placed it under the TR and company overview. So that works too. So how do we add this country and area fields? Have you done it during, let's see. Yeah. Okay. So what are we need? What do we need to do that? So let me open up this manage geographies overview and maybe zoom in a bit. Right. So we are in TRN branch, and we need to get the area name and the country name. And this area and country isn't available in the TRN branch, of course. However, we do have these two foreign keys, the country ID and the area ID. So if you do know the country ID, it's technically possible to get the country name, right? Because country ID is the primary key of the TRN country. And the area name uh, can be taken by using the country ID and the area ID both, because the composite primary key of TRN area is country ID and area ID, right? So you might think, okay, maybe a database getter would do that. Yes, it would do it. However, there's an easier way to do that. So what we can do is, uh, in a certain entity, if we have a key, we can create something called a navigation property or a reference, in other words, to another logical unit. So let me show how to do that. So I'll do it first, and then you will figure out what all of this means, right? So what I'll do is, so just please kindly pay attention. I'll first of all override the TRN branch, right? So let me do that. I'll override the entity. Give me a moment. Right. Okay. Right. I'll override the entity TRN branch, and in there I'll create something called the reference. And when you create a reference, you need to give it a name and then a key list. So I'll explain this in a moment, right? So what I'll do is I'll create a reference called TRN country ref, and the key is country ID to TRN country, and then I'll do something like this, country ID. So what does this do? So this is saying that uh, what we are doing is, when you override, you add things to the certain thing you are overriding, isn't it? So what I'm saying is that I'm overriding the entity TRN branch, and I'm adding this thing called a reference. And what I'm saying with this reference is that, okay, there's a reference called TRN country ref, and then I'm telling that there's a connection between the TRN country entity and this TRN branch. The way this connection is figured out is by these fields. So there's a country ID field in TRN country, isn't it? So there's a country ID field in TRN country, and there's a country ID field in TRN branch too. There, right? What I'm saying is match up the country ID field in TRN branch with the country ID field in TRN country. And what I'm saying is there's a connection between TRN branch and TRN country. And the connection is defined by matching up these two fields, the country ID field in TRN branch and then the country ID field in TRN country. So is that clear for you guys? So I'm creating this thing called a reference. So this is basically declaring that there's a connection between TRN branch and the TRN country. And we are also specifying what columns or what fields define the connection. Because, of course, if you look at the overview diagram, of course, the country ID should define what record of TRN country should have the details about this country ID, isn't it? So I can have this thing called a reference, and then I can deploy it. But before deploying it, let me do something like this. So yeah, so this is the state of the enterprise handling SVC, and then I'll get the metadata document, and then I'll show you the TRN branch too. That's my TRN branch. TRN country is there, TRN area, company. Yeah, okay, here's the TRN branch. And what you can see is that in the entity type TRN branch, there's a key, company ID, branch ID, and there's a bunch of properties. That's all you have. But as soon as we deploy this, watch what happens. Right? And maybe I can give this bit of code first before I deploy it. Yeah, this is part 2 of exercise 4, right? So kind of a lengthy exercise, right? And I'll add a topic here, getting area and country names. So I'll put that in the chat as well, and then I'll deploy it and show what happens. So if I deploy this, and I can go to the metadata document right now, and remember that it has a bunch of properties and the keys. That's all we had in the TRN branch entity. However, if I refresh it now, you'll see this extra thing in the TRN branch entity called a navigation property. And this navigation property's name is TRN country ref, not surprising because that's the name we gave for the reference. So this reference has created this thing called navigation properties. So if you know about OData, this navigation property is a name you give to imply a certain connection between two OData entities, right? So if I also do a refresh on this, not sure I can see that. Can I get a and I don't quite remember the keyword. Let's see if this works. Yeah, so I just added this expand country ref ampersand $expand TRN country ref, right? So this part to the URL. So I can give that URL to you if you are curious, and I'll actually remove the VM number. I'll remove the VM number and then send you the right. So when you do that, you can see that in the list of these TRN branch values, I can see all the properties, like there are some stuff, and then you have company ID, branch ID, name, and all those things, and then there's this TRN country ref. And what you can clearly see is that this is a country record, isn't it? So this TRN country ref is a record of a TRN country. And this is amazing because we can do all sorts of things with this, right? And you have the same thing for all of them, right? So if you see this one, yes, that's for Sweden. So it has the country record for Sweden. So you don't see this by default. What you can do is you can use this expand OData keyword in order to expand this the navigation property. Right? So yeah, so I'll give you a minute to do that. So all this we got from just overriding the TRN branch and creating a reference. Right? So I'll proceed. Let me know if you need some time. Okay. Right. So then what we can do is we can actually use this reference TRN country ref in the client, right? So what I can do is I can go to the TRN branch details, TRN branch group actually. So we were failing to get the country, right? So instead what we can do is I can say, failed TRN country ref dot country, because while we are getting these other fields like company ID, branch ID, name, so on, we can also get the TRN country ref dot country, and it'll give us the country ID, isn't it? So I can save it, and of course I'll give this piece of code to you in the chat as well as the exercise document. Should I copy everything here? Yeah, I'll copy the whole group. And in fact, this is obsolete now. Right? So this is the newest thing. We have added this TRN country ref dot country field, and I can deploy that, and let's see the result. And it should be in manage companies branch details, and I can see the country. So that is true for other countries as well. So this is Linköping, and it'll give you the country Sweden, and for Delhi, India, so on and so forth.
So did I understand it correct? You used the country ID and the area ID we have in the TRM branch to get to make a reference to create to get access to country and area.
That is correct. So I have not done it for area yet, but yes. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm using the country ID that is in the TRN branch, and I'm telling that there's a corresponding record in TRN country with the same country ID. So get that record and show it to me. So that's what I'm saying with this reference. So this is a bit different from array. It's close but different, right? So with the array, what I'm saying is there's a list of things in TRN area that has the same country ID. So get that list of things. But here with the reference, what I'm saying is there's a single thing in TRN country that has the same key. So get that thing for me. So like you said, we can do the same for TRN area. So I'll create a new reference TRN area ref maybe. And the key list is this time it's country ID and the area ID. and it is to TRN area, of course, because that's where our area record is. So again, it's the same keys, country ID and area ID. And with that, if I deploy it, I'll see a new navigation property in the metadata document. Yeah, TRN area if is there, and there are two referential constraints this time, country ID and the area ID. And of course, I can populate it, and instead of country ref, this time I can expand the TRN area ref. Yeah, and it will. I can maybe do both of those things at the same time, I guess. Hopefully. No. Oh, how about? Yeah. So if you do a comma and also add TRN area ref to the expand, it will expand the country ref as well as the area ref, right? So you can get the area, and then I can use it. And before I can use it, let me add this to the document. So I've already also added the TRN area ref too. And yeah. And to the chat as well. And then I can use that area ref in the client the same way. Field area is actually a TRN area ref.area. And I can deploy the client and it will show me the area right now. If I do a hard refresh. Yes.
Is a reference just a copy, or are we able to do something with the data?
Yeah. Again, excellent question. So what he asked is this reference. Maybe you are wondering whether we can actually change the data, things like that, right?
Yeah.
No. What we it's a copy, just like you said. It's a copy. It's a copy of the data, the copy of the row in the database. Exactly, not exactly, kind of a row in the database. It's a copy, and then you can't really do any changes. So if I go and actually do a new here, you'll see that you can maybe select the country ID. What's the country ID? Okay, and then the country would be actually read only, and the same for area, right? Let's say KDY. Yeah. So area is read only, and yeah, just let's cancel it, and then so these are actually read only, but you can change it. You can change it, but I'm not going to change it just yet. Or maybe if I save it and do a little refresh, yeah, it changes, but it's not perfect because there are some other things we need to do. It doesn't automatically change right now, but it'll we can make it work in a moment.
Another question.
Yes.
I was playing around with entering new record. Can you try it here, please, again? That yeah, plus sign, and I put some garbage or in all the colored fields and tried to save, and I got error message that didn't tell me the real problem. I was wondering if it can be, if we can have a better error message.
Yeah, let's try that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Right. So this is supposed to tell you that the company does not exist. So this error message is supposed to say the TRN company does not exist.
Okay.
However, due to us not actually due to us not actually deploying the dictionary. So we haven't created the dictionary in the server. So we are kind of using a custom component, and we haven't created the dictionary. Therefore, that the LU name isn't actually properly saved in the dictionary or the
Okay,
dictionary
so
cache specifically. So
this
that's
is
why the
not
error message, yeah, it's not
so
normal.
this not
Yeah,
not going to
when you have a
happen.
proper deployment, you will get the correct logical unit. It will tell you that. So actually, I think this is this company ID is failing, and it should tell you that the TRN company does not exist.
Okay,
So unfortunately, that doesn't happen here. Yeah.
I see. Thanks.
So if I maybe I can while you are doing that, I can just try to generate the dictionary here. Where's that? Refresh dictionary cache. So you don't need to do that, and it'll take some time. We'll try it later. Right?
My apologies. I just have a quick question. It says cannot. I have an error that says cannot find projection data item for TRN area ref.
Cannot find projection data item for TRN area. So have you deployed the projection?
Yes, I did.
You have.
Let me see.
Right. Can you let me know your VM number, please?
So 112.
112. Would you mind if I take it over?
Yeah, of course. Okay.
112, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. You're getting that from the client, is it? Where are you getting the problem?
So I'm getting it when I try to deploy the client. So I deployed the projection and then I deployed
the client. Okay. Oh, what did I do? Right. That's okay. Sorry.
That's okay.
Cannot find projection data item TRN area ref area. And that is because if I go to the projection, yes. So that's because you are overriding the TRN area, but rather what you would want to do is override the TRN branch,
Yeah,
and
my
then
bad.
have the yeah. That's okay.
Okay.
So just change it and you should be fine.
Yeah, I'll do
disconnect.
That. Thank you.
So I'll give you another minute for all of you. Did I send all the code to you? I hope so. No, I haven't. Let me do that. So I think I have sent the reference, and I think I need to update the code for the group. Yeah, let me copy it, and then yeah, there you go. And I'll send it in the chat as well. Hopefully you can just figure it out, but anyway, I'll send it in the chat. Right. So so then there's another part in the exercise. So yeah, we did these things. So we have the country and the area fields right now, and we use the hint, okay? And yeah, we have added the page to the navigator. And then the third part of the exercise is investigate the default LOE functionality associated with the country ID and area. What does that mean? So that means, okay, so when I tried to create a new record, so you saw what happened, right? So when I try to create a new record, I can actually specify. So let's say, let's give valid company names, TCS and branch ID. Let's do a Colombo branch. No,
Shall we
let's
do it as
create
well?
another. Sorry.
Shall we do it as well, or just?
I didn't quite get you. Can
My
you repeat
bad.
that?
Are we gonna do that as well, or
Yeah.
or do we
So
just
let's.
watch?
No. Please watch. I'm trying to explain something. Yeah. So
Okay.
yeah. Please watch. Right. So let me try to create a new branch. So maybe I don't know. Right. And let's give it a time offset. And then let us. If I try to give an wrong country ID, and it saves. Unfortunately, it saves. So that is a bug. Okay. So that should not happen. There should be a referential integrity that is honored, but that doesn't happen. So okay, that's a problem. So how can we solve this? If there was any way that we can get a list of countries and areas, so this should be solved, isn't it? So what I can actually do is I can actually use this same functionality that we have created the reference. So you can use this reference to actually get a list of countries if you are using it, right? So what I can do is I can actually copy this reference, and instead of the country ID, I can use that reference. So let me show you how to do that. So this part you can do with me. So just copy the reference name for the TRN the country, the TRN country ref, and then instead of country ID field, so let me comment that out so you can see what was there before. Instead of country ID, I will say TRN country ref, right? And if I save it, and then if I deploy it right now, and I can, let's just delete this record. I don't need that. Uh, so you will already see that there's a little change. Now there's a little drop down here, and it shows all the countries, and actually you can change your country, right? And if I go to the new record mode, and this drop down is there as well, and as soon as I select a country, and it'll show the it'll fetch the country name and all those things, all those nice things, and I can get the country ID from a list rather than typing it. So you're familiar with this functionality in if you have worked with IFS applications, and it's called a list of values, right? A list of values. So this is how you actually create a list of values in Orina. You first create a reference, and you use that reference as a list of values. So for example, I can do the same for area as well. So TRN area, I can go and instead of this field area ID, what I can do is I can use field area ref. But there's a problem. This label, it isn't nice. So I'll also change the labels too. So for the TRN country ref, I'll add a label. What is this country ID? Close the brackets and then copy the same thing over here to the area ref, and that would be area ID. And I can deploy it, and I'll see that both the country ID and area ID could be, they use the LOBs. So the country ID and area ID could be selected from the list of values. So if I go to the new, country ID is Sweden, and then it will show all the areas of Sweden actually. So I can choose Gothenburg, and if I go back to the country ID and then now select Sri Lanka, it'll actually clear out Gothenburg that was selected for the area ID because the Gothenburg area doesn't belong to the country ID LK. So then I can select a new area, right? So let me copy that bit of code. And then again, that makes this obsolete, made obsolete by part 3. And then I can create a new section for part 3 of the exercise. So this is us reusing the country ref and the area ref we created for the LOB functionality. Let me put that in the chat as well. Save it. I'll give you a minute to do that. And in the meantime, actually, if you want, you can do the same for company ID too. So it's if I try to select a company ID, it's not really nice, isn't it? So I have to manually type it. So I can do the same thing for company ID as well if you want. So I can create a new reference, just like the country reference. TRN company ref. That would be company ID. That would be the key. And then that's for TRN company. So that is an exercise that you can do. I won't give you the code, so it'll work.
A question in the meantime.
Yes.
Couple of minutes ago, you entered a new record and you managed to save it with a non-existing country ID, I think, and you said it was a bug. But
yeah,
was it a bug in the data model?
What I think happened was, I'm not exactly sure. I need to check that. So I'm suspecting that it wasn't saved in the database or anything. So if I go to the branch code, generated code, the API, if I can, let's do a check insert, check command. In check command, I think there should be a check to check if that country ID is there, isn't it? So the TRN country.
Yeah, but at that point you filled only country and area was not filled, and in that case it doesn't check. So it's a bug in the data model, right?
It's a bug in the data model because I think in the TRN branch, yeah, these should have been mandatory, right? So this is the problem. Yes. So thanks for pointing that out. So these should have been mandatory, and then that would have prevented that from happening. Yeah.
Are you saying so that if we mark it as mandatory, then it would check for country?
It should. Oh, so this is something I have to check really. So I'm a bit confused as well on why that has happened.
Okay, it's not that important. Yeah. I was just a bit worried that it was a problem in the client framework.
That is a valid. No, it's a valid question. It's kind of mysterious to me. So I'll check that and I'll get back to you tomorrow. So it's an important problem, I guess.
Okay, thank you.
Right. So what else?
Do we have to do the same thing for the branch ID also?
Yes, you for the branch ID, no, because you are creating branches here. So whatever the key you specify here is the key, isn't it? There's nothing to get from somewhere else. That's fine.
Sorry, Thanks.
You're welcome. Did I do that? Yes. Did I deploy it? I think so. And then let me refresh it. And yeah, I can get the company ID too, right? Yeah. Right. So what else? So we investigated the default LOI functionality, and how you do that is you use a reference to get the list of values. And typically these references will create awful prompts. Therefore, you typically need to add a label whenever you use it. You use a reference as a LOB. So please note that it's not TRN country of dot country ID like this one, right? So if you're needing an LOB, you need to use just the reference name, not any field within it, right? Right. So then there's this exercise 5, kind of a small exercise for us, and display TRN branch records in a card view. And so I can you have a screenshot here. I think it's clear what needs to be done. Not that what needs to be done. It's clear what the result would be. So there would be this branches page that has this kind of a view where you can see all the branches, but they are not a list, sort of a list view. It's a card view. So these are called these things. These rectangular things are called cards. And these cards is a kind of a new UI element that you see on a lot of websites. And so this is what we need to do. So to do that, let me start off with a new page. So I need to create a navigate entry called branches, and then a page called page labeled branches, right? So let's do that first. So let me create a navigate entry. So I have got a piece of code here, which I'll copy just to save some time. Uh, and there's a navigate entry called TRN branch overview page nav entry, and its parent is just like these ones, manage company's nav entry, and I have a separate index, and then its label is branches, and it is trying to load a page called TRN branch overview page. We haven't created that just yet. So let me put that piece of code in a new file. That is exercise number 5, ex05. So a navigate entry, and then I'll create a dummy page as well, right? With a label branches. That's not right. This is right. And this, and I can put that piece of code in the chat as well, if you prefer that. Right. And I can deploy that, and I should see a new branches page that is pretty much blank. And I can refresh this and manage companies branches. So that's my blank page, and with that I can start working. Right? So I'll give you a minute to create that as well. Right. So then we need to create a card. Create a new card called TRN branch card by adding a certain number of fields. So first of all, how do we create a card? So if I actually go somewhere here and then just do a control space, there is this card keyword. So you can create a card with this card keyword. However, we know that all the things that we create are in proper sections. So groups are in groups, selectors are in selectors, lists are in lists. However, there's no section called cards. So therefore, what I'll do is I'll just create a new section for cards. I'll copy this lists and then get some space and then change its heading to cards. Right? And then in there, I can create my card, which whose name should be TRN branch card. Right? So let me do that. Yeah. Card TRN branch card. So just like lists, you have to specify what's the entity you are creating this UI element for. So that would be, of course, TRN branch. Right? And then we can see what are the fields we need. So that's company ID, branch ID, name, time of set, country ID, country, area ID, and area. And if you are paying attention, you will see that we have done this before. So this same list of things are in here as well. So we when we were creating this group for the branch, we had the same list of fields. So therefore, rather than typing it manually, what I'll do is I'll just go back to the TRN branch group and copy all of these things. All of these fields actually, right? And I'll just remove the commented out field just to make it a bit compact. So that's our card. So I'll paste that code in the document, as well as I'll post it in the chat. Right. So hope you have created the card. Just copy all the fields from group TRN branch group. You should be fine. And then how do we display this card? So if you go to the page and do a control space, so actually you can add, but typically the cards are not added to a page directly. Cards are what happens is cards, they are kind of a list view as well. So therefore, what you do is you create a list and you add a card into the list, and then that list is added to the page, right? So therefore, what I'll do is I'll actually create a TRN branch list. TRN branch list for, of course, TRN branch. And then what I'll do is I'll add this card. TRN branch card. Let me put that in the documents and in the chat as well. And then, of course, you can add the list to the page. So again, let me change the page. So this is obsolete now. So the page syntax is this. Now, this whole thing. Right, so I can deploy it and see what this has done to my blank branches page. And I can see all the branches. And there's a little drop down that I can change the number of branches I see at once. So it could be 24 and up to a big number, right? So these are kind of a different view of the lists, right? So I'll give you a minute to do that as well. So just deploy and see if this works. Okay, so like I said, this is a different view of a list. And so if you go to other some other lists like these companies, you will see that these lists have different views, right? So there's a table view, and that will let you know change the column widths and things like that. And then there's the list view. That doesn't let you change the column widths, but it will show it as a list. So there's not a lot of difference between label view and the list view, but the table view is kind of useful if you want to adjust the column widths and all those things, or maybe freeze the columns, things like that. And there's this chart view, which I won't go into. And like that, this card view is actually a different view. However, you won't see something that allows you to select these other views, right? So in the companies, for example, you see this drop down. Apart from this, max number of rows chooser. The reason for this is that you see you don't see a view selector in the branches. Reason is that in your list, so if I scroll down to the list, the TRN branch list, you only have the card. You don't have any fields. So what I can do is I can just copy these fields from the card to the list as well. So again, what I did was I copied the list of fields from the card, the TRN branch card we just created, into TRN branch list. And if I now deploy this, and then refresh it, now you get a different view, right? So this is the list view, and you can change to the table view as well as the card view. Right? So let me, I don't need to give that code, just copy the list of, fields from the card. That should do the trick. But anyway, I'll post this here. So I'll just comment this out. Instead, this is the list.
When we added the fields, I noticed that we can now filter on the branches. When we added the fields to the list,
yes,
I noticed we could filter the cards.
That is absolutely correct. So you can maybe yeah, it'll actually filter. The filter functionality is there as well. That is because there are some other functionality that you can't have with just a card view, because again the reason is that uh, the fields are on the card, not on the list. So that's why it won't let you filter or maybe change the views, right? Yes, again, good catch there. Let's clear the filter. Did I post this? No, I didn't. It did not work. Oh, yeah. Right, so I'll give you a minute to do that too. And there's one final thing before we go for a break. I need to tell you. Right, so you might have noticed that after we added the fields to the list and then we refreshed the branches, it showed us the list view. So what if we want the default view? So that is because the initial default view of a list is the list view. So what if we wanted this card view to always come up first whenever this branches is populated rather than this list view? So there's a way to do that as well. So that is by adding a simple line of code to the list. So this line of code has to be added before the card, right? So the order is important in Arena. So it should be before the card. So I think that is a default view. No, initial view. Yes, initial view, and then there's a bunch of values for that, and from that you can use card view, one of card view or list view. So there are other views as well. I won't go into details. So they refer to some other, just like the card, there are some other types of UI elements that you can have in a list. And what I'm saying is the card view should be the default view. So let me put that in the chat and the document as well. Where's that? There. So if I do that, and it should work if you are opening up the Arena client for the first time. However, since we have, the user has changed the list view, that selection is actually cached, so we might not see the card view even though we refresh it. So let's see. Yeah, it shows the list view, but trust me, if you cleared the profile and all those things, it'll show you the card view by default, right? All right, so do you guys have any questions before we go for a break?
Yeah, I have a question. I was wondering, when we looked at the client, we can see the label TRN branch card. Is it usually like that, or do you guys change it to the ID of the branch?
Yeah, so good question. So his question is, okay, there's this TRN branch card. Yes, that's not nice. You can have a label for a TRN branch card too. So what I can do is just label What could be the label? Maybe the branch ID, and I can have something like this, or with the company ID too. Let's see if this works. Yeah, so like you said, it's not how you're supposed to do it. You have to actually have a meaningful label, right? And if you have that, maybe you can even remove the company and branch fields as well, since you're repeating the information, right?
Yeah. So I was thinking, since I saw you do the dollar thing, so I was thinking
Yeah.
exactly like that. Maybe it's possible to do in there too, but I wasn't fully sure. But now I know.
Yeah.
So thank you.
So thanks for that question. Excellent question. Yeah. So let me add that bit of code here. Label. And in the chat as well. Yes. So again, does it work? It does work, and our cards are now way better, kind of concise with the company and the branch ID, in the title, right? Yeah. So thanks for that question. Any other questions like that? Right. So if you don't have any other questions, what I'll do is let's go for a break, and this will be a 20-minute break. And after 20 minutes, we'll talk about some more things. So we'll do some exercises. We'll first talk about code reuse, and there's a way to do that. And then we are going to talk about how to create customizations after the break, right? So let's meet again in 20 minutes. Until then, yeah, have fun. Bye.